the Kill Count, where
we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies.
Hi, Billy Mays here.
And today, we're finally starting the franchise that so many of you have been waiting for, Home Sweet Home. And it says one out, beginning with the original 1981 slasher. Final Destination is a film that asks, what happens when you escape death? Let's find out and get to the numbers. Answer is that James H.D.'s comes for you. Yes, will mean some censoring in the public releases of these episodes, while explicit versions will be available for only fans. How many kills will James H.D.'s score in this first film, which seems so quaint compared to what's to come? Let's find out and get to them. The movie begins with someone gets ready for a trip to Paris. That someone is high school senior James H.D.'s, played by
Billy Mays.
Alex is a super kind of guy who's nervous about his ahead of him.
You gotta leave that on. Tell you, made the last flight without the plane crashing or anything, so I figured it's gotta be on the bag, or at least with the bag.
Pretty paranoid there, but I hate this guy. Alex goes to the airport, where we meet some of his classmates who will also be going to the City of Lights. First, there's resident fuck Carter, who's played by Kerr Smith, who would go on to be only in 3D. Carter's got a girlfriend named James H.D.'s who doesn't do much other than with him, and he likes to spend his time bullying nerds like this hockey jersey wearing kid named Billy Hitchcock, played by Sean William Scott. Yep. But in this movie, he's so much a piece of shit, and he and Alex are so tight that they're bona fide board their flight and feel reassured of its safety by the sight of a crying baby.
That's a good sign. Younger the better to be a fucked up god to take down this plane.
I guess it's a solid line.
A really fucked up god.
I guess it's a solid line. And everybody cheers! But things take a tumultuous turn real damn fast, and pretty soon, those oxygen masks are popping out of the overhead. But hate to tell you folks, a little bit of extra airflow ain't gonna help when a fire starts on board and a whole row of seats get sucked out the side of the plane. Holy shit! Another fire burst spreads through the cabin, and we watch Alex's face cook. Death may be coming for us all, but how many did it catch up to during Final Destination? Let's find out and get to the numbers. And he calmly explains everything he just saw to the others on board. Haha, never mind. Death may be coming for us all, but how many did it catch up to during Final Destination? Let's find out and get to the numbers. Just like that, we've got a new kill count record. The movie will later give us a number to use when it reports that 2 people died on Flight 180. As you might expect, everyone is immediately suspicious of Alex, even though he rightfully claims he didn't cause the explosion to happen. Dude, just be happy this was 9/11. A month later, there's a funeral service for Alex's classmates. Look out, Todd, that leaky coming at ya, and it's blue for some reason. That's weird. Over at Alex's house, the other excommunicated poopeteer is just about to engage in a little session when he instead uses his smut to scare away a voyeuristic James H.D.'s. His penthouse gets caught up in the fan, and he's left with a warning sign from fate, or whatever. But it's too late for Alex to save Todd, since has already caught up to him in the form of a slippery fall into a clothesline. Todd dies in his bathtub. Anyway, Alex runs over to Todd's house, and although he's too late to save his friend, he is just in time to FBI agents Shrek and Donkey. Alex goes to talk to Clear, who's taking a break from answer to stuff in her garage. Her is that she shows off to Alex include a statue of Billy Mays.
Who's the springy head guy?
Billy Mays.
Years of high school, we haven't said one word to each other.
Alex feels like he'd know his feelings better if he was able to feel Todd's body. So the teens decide to break into the At the funeral home, they encounter the coolest motherfucking mortician this side of a closed casket funeral. Fuck yes, Todd.
There are no accidents, no coincidences, no mishaps, and no escapes. And you don't even want to fuck with that, McDaddy.
Alex tells Clear that from now on, they need to be looking out for omens of death. Kinda like that reflection in the window of a bus that isn't really there. But you know who is actually there? Carter, whose driving is just as The usual bickering gets underway until Terry tells Carter and Alex to knock it off.
They died, and we died. Get over it.
Yeah, get over it.
Died.
Alex continues trying to figure out a pattern to these deaths.
Oh my god, Rebecca, you're such a whore! Such a whore, I swear!
Like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, why would you think of women that way? We don't even act like that.
And according to Death's design, James H. is next. Holy shit! Careful, Ms. Luton. James H. even in your teapot. Spooky! I do think Ms. Luton is kinda dumb, but not as dumb as
James H.
What the fuck was that? Ms. Luton cancels her tea and instead pours herself a beverage that's cold and hot. Tea. When she reaches for a rag so she can get a head start cleaning this whole mess up, it pulls down a block of knives, and one of T. He finds her on the floor bleeding to death, stabs her in the chest. It doesn't matter. Shut the fuck up, you idiots. Carter stops the car right in the middle of some train tracks. And don't look now, but shoot, 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 motherfucker. Shoot, 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 shoot. Billy, Clear, and Alex file out of Carter's car while he stays seated, calmly waiting for his death. But at the last minute, he decides that it ain't his time. But that might not be for him to decide, because all of a sudden, his car won't start, and his doors won't open, and his seatbelt won't unbuckle. Ay caramba! Armed with his knowledge that the seatbelt will break, Alex intervenes, but it's too late.
You're dead! You're dead! You're dead! You're dead!
Alex quickly logics out that because he intervened and saved his life, Death skipped over him and went to the next person on the list, which was James H. after Billy saved Carter's is next. Sometime later, Alex is hiding out in a woodsy cabin owned by Clear and is doing everything he can think of to death-proof the interior. These kind of seem like some janky-ass safety measures though, Alex. Is this really the least dangerous setup you could think of? And why are you eating cat? Is cat safer than people? Now going after some zappy lightning and a wacky waving. Alex heads out to help Clear right as Agent Shrek and co. roll up from the swamp. They're still chasing after him because, you know, his prints were all over the knife they pulled out of Val Luton's chest. Idiot. But Alex gets away from the cops in a fucking canoe? What? Yo. James H. needs to make GTA Venice pronto. Alex tells Clear that he's going to grab the so she can get out of the car before it explodes.
It'll skip you and it'll all be over.
Although she cries for him not to, he goes ahead and does it anyway. Right as the car explodes and blows both of them to the ground. Is that it then? Did Alex die? We're fading to white, so yes? The ending did have Alex dying right there in Clear's drive. Death may be coming for us all, but how many did it catch up to during Final Destination? Let's find out and get to the numbers. A record-shattering 2 people died in Final Destination. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to James H. but I've always loved how the effect of this death looks. It's the one kill in this first film that hints towards just how gory the series is going to get. Dull machete for lamest kill will go to Home Sweet Home.